Hey, welcome back. In this session, we will be discussing about Python decorators. This is one of the very important topic. So let us understand. A decorator is a callable object. A decorator is a callable object which takes which takes function or class as a argument or input, which takes function or class as a input and modified the function, modified the or we can say like a decorator is a callable object which takes a function or class as argument. So say input argument and modifies the function without modifying the original function. Got it? So this decorator is very powerful actually. So for example, let me tell you the use case, right? Let me tell you the use case and start. Let me write a small decorator and then we can work from there. So syntax is right. So df decorator name. One second, I just want to check the sound. Yeah, very good. Decorator name, and here it takes function name, df, wrapper name, wrapper function, here function args, function arguments or parameters, function params, parameters, statements, statement, and return wrapper function. So this is syntax of decorator. Okay. So with the same decorator, let's try to do one thing. Let's try to write a decorator. What it does is basically it. So let me write a small decorator for let's say. So for example, think about it, right? So now let me do a time decorator. So we want to know how much time function is taking, for example, right? So instead of see, for example, let me give a use case. Use case is application got slowed down for XYZ reason. Okay. And we were not sure, we were not sure we were not sure which function, we were not sure which function taking longer time as the application has uh, you know 500 functions, 500 functions. You got it? So the currently use cases, see, your application got slowed down for XYZ reason, and we were not sure which function is taking longer time as the application has 500 functions, right? So to do certain functionality, so we have implemented a application, and which is not, which is not really good enough to use for our users. Our users is complaining that, hey, your application is damn slow. So when I click on your application, it is keep loading it. I'm not saying any, I'm not saying any, let's say it is keep loading it, and after that it is crashing, or it's still loading for last 1 hour. Understood? So this become one of the, biggest issues, right? Even when you're working on the support team side, right? So you might see that users might complain that, application is the page is not loading properly. It is there is a lot of slowness in it. Understood. So if such case, now what we need to do is we need to detect what really causing the issue. Understood. So for causing the issue, see, this is the it easy to find it in find out functions? Of course not, right? So in order to do this, so as you already aware, the logic, for example, let's say you had a function on which does some logic, right? Like this, you had another function two, it does some logic, right? And dash dash dash, you had a df function n. Got it? Yeah. So imagine you had to find the different functions, and you don't know, like, what really causing the issue. Now you will understand the power of decorator. So for getting the execution time of function, so you have already aware that, hey, there is a time model, so I can directly import time model. For example, import time, right? And start time equal to time dot time, and end time equal to time dot time. So there is a core logic for calculating. This already you are aware, right? And if you want to know each and every function, right? Each and every function execution time, for example. So what we will be doing? So for every function, we will import it, and before the logic, we capture the start time, and once we are done with this functionality, again we do a, we will capture this. And for doing this particular, executing this for the, so first line to last line, we will capture time and say print, let's say function x, let's say function took, or f1 took end time minus start time seconds, right? So if you observe, right? So what I have to do? I had to replicate. I had to duplicate the same logic. Everything is the same. See, start time and execute the function to logic and capture the end time, and say instead of S1, F2. Got it? So I have to keep doing it for all the things. Function in, observe. So do you think it's easy? Because there are 500 functions in our application. Understood? And you are keep repeating this logic. Did you observe this? You are keep repeating this logic, capturing the start time and end time continuously. Understood? Start time and end time continuously. Start time and end time continuously. Did you get that? So this become one of the, challenging, and implementing this for all 500 functions. So imagine what you will be doing. You will be adding 500 into 3 lines, right? So it will become 1500 lines itself for adding it. If you just add even one liner to 500 functions, it would become 500 lines. Since we need to add the three lines, start time, end time, and print statement, right? So this become what? So 3 into 500, so 1500 lines of program. So first thing is the execution time, and other thing else is, that's a different. And even the maintainability of this application functions also become tough, really, right? In order to comply this kind of challenge, what then that's why there is a concept called decorator. So what decorator will do? So don't write 1500 lines. Okay, write three lines. Understood? So write the three lines, and inside here, see, wherever whenever you want to capture this, simply call the logic, like call the function here, something like this. Instead of passing this, instead of passing these three lines, we will pass the function name. Did you understood? Now let me write a small example. So for example, let's say, um, write a function, write a function to um, find the find the addition of find the addition of um, range of 100 and make 5 seconds delay. You got it? So this we already know. So what we will be doing, we know that uh, addition function. So for making delay, I would import time, right? And for normal, I'm going with normal. So if I want to do it, I'll be passing x and y, and so here I would say uh, sum, right? Like addition, sum equal to x plus y, and again what the as part of the this one, so I need to make a 5 second delay, sleep of 5, this does, and return sum. But it's not a good practice to use the built-in function names as the variable, right? So it doesn't make any doesn't sounds good actually. So let's say addition, right? This makes sense. This addition is not a built-in word. All right. So this is a logic. Understood. Now, so for example, I created this function, and let's say make one more, write a function to find subtraction of uh, subtraction of given inputs, for example, and make delay. No, we are simulating delay actually. You got it? That's a challenge here. So delay of 2 seconds. Make sense? Now x minus y, delay is 2 seconds, and subtraction. All right. Now see, when I start using these two functions, now let me go back here, and uh, here I want to just this is not part of really decorator, but to get some heads up of how it is working first of all, right? So when I do this add, right? So here when I pass in comma 30, for example, so when I do a print, anyway, it is returning the addition attribute or variable, right? So I can directly print this. If I go and figure this out, we got 10 and 30, 10 and 30 is 40. But if you see, if I just trigger it, it is taking 5 seconds. and it is giving 40, right? So now it is clear that this is taking time, and when it comes to subtraction, it will take 2 seconds delay, right? Now, in order to this data, in order to find the execution time for everything, right? What we can do, we can as part of the decorator concept. So here, a decorator is a callable object which takes function or class as an argument and modified the function without modifying the original function. Okay, meaning simply we are decorating the function. Simply when someone asks, "Hey, what is a decorator?" Simply say a decorator is useful for decorating a function. Just that. Understood? Without modifying the original function. You can also say a decorator. A decorator is a function which is used decorator, which is used to decorate a function without without modifying the original function. Got it? Right. Now, did you observe this? So you can use you can use two. That's fine because the target would be you should give the proper example. You can also after this see after the explanation you should tell them okay, so can you talk about some use case? Let's say there's application which is slow down. You can talk about this use case. Okay, now let's start implementing it. So these are the two functions, right? Now I want to implement the logic. This is fine. Time model we already having, right? Now, so now tell you. So syntax of decorator. Now let's say def decorator name. Let's say I'm just like what we can say, calculate decorator time, or you can say like um time time it, or I say like calculate execution time. Okay, and here it takes, as mentioned, decorator is a callable object which takes as a function, correct? Function name as the argument, right? So function name, function, okay, df calculate execution time, function name, right? Df wrapper. So here wrapper function takes the function arguments, okay, and actually the function call originally happens here inside this, okay, return wrapper. Now we want to find the execution time, right? So I have given some sample logic here already. So if I go back here, see what is the logic? This is the one, right? Start time, function, end time. Got it. So I'll just go back here, and before doing this, so we need to do this. And so function name is functioning. Guys, did you understood? So this is decorator now. Now what I'm doing here. See, in this particular decorator, if you observe, let's say see, decorator name is calculate execution time. So now I'm passing function. See, it takes two things actually. So decorator take two things. So it takes function name, okay, and it takes, function arguments. It takes these two. You got it? Yeah. Now we need to understand. We really need to understand how it is working. So when it comes to function arguments and all, right? So basically we will so in this case, so how many arguments are there? Two arguments, right? Say let's say a comma b, for example. Understood? Now a comma b, and here when we are making a function call a comma b. Understood? Now, if you don't understand, no problem. I'll give one more example. So in this, see what I'm doing. I created a decorator definition here, and what it does is it takes function name to this variable. See the function name add go to function name, and it takes wrapper x and y, right? There are two inputs to this function, right? X and y to a and b. Understood? So it is one of the important concept. Don't worry if you get confused. I'll give one more easiest example. Let's try to understand like whether you can understand whether you can cope up with this itself or not. Okay, so here now what I'll be doing. So decorator is one of the powerful, and we need to what is the usage? How to let's say I created decorator function, and there is no magic will happen. But what you need to do is if you want to apply if you want to apply in this function, right? You should use at the rate. You should say at the rate. What is the decorator name? Calculate execution time. That's it. So if the function definition has the decorator on it, for example, see along with this function definition, if it has the decorator, which means that this function, let's say when I call this function, it will not execute this. You got it? Because it has the decorator in it, right? So when I call this function, let's say add 10 comma 20, for example, since it's a decorator, right? It will not execute this. Instead, it passes a decorator. So my name is add, and my arguments names are x and y. Please take me. Okay. What decorator will do? It takes this, a function name and arguments, and replace the function name with let's say it becomes like this, guys. Simple as that. It becomes uh, add. You got it? After the transaction, add become see add equal add, right? So what will happen? Now function becomes what? Function name becomes add. See, now simply if I want to explain you, if a equal 10, for example, if I make b equal a, so if I print a or b, both are fine, right? You got it? So there is something. Yeah. Now what will happen is, see here I'm passing uh, add here. Sorry, add goes to function name part. Understood? Now function name become add. Got it? Because see, when I'm discussing about functions, there is a concept called functions are first class objects. What does really mean? A function can be also passed as an argument to another function call. Did you got it? So we created two functions there, and I created I am passing one function to another function. If you remember, there is a session on functions called functions are first class objects, and we have done a lot of work there. So it's important to keep practicing functions a lot. That's really important. Make sense? Yeah. Now, so here fine. So df calculate execution time. So here function name, it takes add as a function name, and it takes x value to a, y value to b. You got it? That's what I mentioned, right? If a become, for example, it's already x and y, right? So a equal to x, for example. Got it? A equal to x and b equal to y. So if you are in confusion, let's say, hey, no, I don't want to use this, right? So you can directly use the original names of it. But in general, we don't do because we never know, right? Because this a decorator in general meant for doing general for everything. every function, right? So that's why we don't, we don't keep the same name as the decorator arguments or the function name. No, it's not parent. It's like a reference. It gives the reference of it, right? So let me execute this so that you will understand. Okay. So for example, here here what is the function name? Add, right? If I go back here, add. Now I want to add, let's say 30 and 45, for example. Now, what really happened? Uh, so let me tell you the steps also. Okay. So now I made a call, add 30 comma 45. So generally what it should happen? It should execute this, correct? But since there is a decorator on it, it will not execute this. Instead, what it does is it see the executions goes here. So this is, let's say, here it execute this first and getting into here second. You got it? And here, when it meets this guy, then only it will come here execute third time. You got it? Now did you understood how the execution will happen? Whatever the blocks here, it will come, you know. Now did you understood? So when I call this, when I call this, so it will go to it will directly go to here. This is step one. Step one, it get into the decorator, get into the wrapper. So get into the decorator is the first step. Get into the decorator. Next, since here this is a function definition again. And here, when you say return wrapper, right, it will trigger this. It will trigger this. It will call this function. Okay, meaning then step two is get into the wrapper, right? And from see when it comes here, then here we are making a function call. You did it. So mean in a very simple way, decorator will not call the when we are using decorator, we will not execute the function normally. Instead, we will execute the function inside the decorator. Got it? This is what this is where the original this is what this is where the original function call out. You got it? We simply we're simply calling the original function. You got it? But if you see, we are having start time and end time. We are doing this too. Now what we are doing? We are decorating this function with the time module. Meaning, for getting some, let's say, to understand how much time it is taking, right? So we are decorating this time. We are decorating this function with the time model, so that I can know how much time it has taken. Let's say here time taken. And even if you want to know which function, see, when it comes to the real time, you never know which function, right? Because decorator is meant for everything, every function. If you want to know which function currently it is being executed, now it's clear that it's clear that add function. If it is find out more, you are not sure, like, which function is really getting executed in the background. So for this particular case, you're using function name, right? This is a function name. Understood? So if you use, so if you try like this, meaning if you try function name dot underscore dot underscore underscore name. If you use this, then it will get you the function name, guys. You got it, huh? You understood what I'm saying. So if I use this line, it would get me what is the function being executed, what is the function passed to. So here we are passing this function, right? We are passing this name to a function name, correct? And if you see function name and dot underscore name, tell me the name of that parser function name, right? Which would give you time taken for function name dot name is, so how we can calculate end time minus start time. This is just logic, right? Understood? Makes sense, huh? It's clear. Now I'll say this. Instead of this, let me use a print statement so that you will understand. Instead of just giving some heads up, right? So if I give this data, it would be more clear now, right? Okay, so it will come to here and next get into wrapper, right? Once it is done, then it comes here. Let's say main function. Yes, you understood? So currently I'm not using any this one sub actually. Now if I go and trigger this, now what did you observe? See, it comes when I call this function, it comes here and it passes the function name and arguments to this, right? And here, so I'm just telling, okay, so here this step two, getting to the wrapper, and it comes here, uh, it calculate the start time, and here actual comes, then it comes here. Let me also do fourth step after this. See this four, right? Third. So once it is done here, just say I would say here four. Okay, so done, for example. You got it? Now, now someone want to quickly go through how it executes. Yeah, Naveen, you want to go through? Yeah, yeah, please. Mhm. Go on. Mm. Yeah, sounds good. Naveen, thanks. Uh, right, let's execute this. Here, what we are doing, we are not returning anything. We are simply printing it out. Okay. Now let's understand. Even if you want to make some delay, or since we need to take some, since we need to understand how much time. See, the current goal is how much time add is taking now. You got it? Let's do it. So I just triggered. Did you see? It got stuck at 3. Oh, okay. Let me trigger one more time. 1, 2, 3. Because 5-second delay, no? At step number 3. What is step number 3? See, it is done with step number 2, meaning it is done here and it just captured. I think I would make getting into wrapper. That's where. See, if you look at this, it came here, printed this, printed this, and it is also came into this. It is just entered this statement and performed this x plus y, performed x plus, it come to here and it is waiting at line number 3. Did you see this? For performing this, for executing this add logic, It is taking 5 seconds because we wantedly made a 5 second delay in this, right? But in general, it may be causing due to some loop. For example, let's say you want to loop over two legs items, for example. So it takes that much time, right? So it is waiting here. Now it would tell you, see, time taken for add is. Did you observe this? I just mentioned function name dot underscore underscore name. This would tell me what function is being executed. Now, now see, one place you implemented your decorator. Okay. Now, if I want to know the subtraction function, how much time it is taking, for example. So what is the subtraction function? Here. Oh, sorry. Yeah. What is subtraction? Yeah, here. Let me remove that. Now, so if you want to know, now there are 500 functions, right? See, making changes inside the function become difficult, or it might, prone to errors. But if you're using one liner, then it will be real quick, right? So what you can do, that's it. At the rate, that's it. You're done. And whatever you want to do, let's say multiplication, for example, multiplication x star y, got it? And let's say 3 seconds delay, got it? Now, in by sitting in one place, right? Mults multiplications. Just now. So what I'll be doing? So how much time it is taking now? Actually, 5, 7, 10. Total 10 seconds. Now, did you understood? So what I can do is simply I would say add 40, 45, 67 and sub 100 comma a big number and multiplication say 34 comma 70, some number, some blind number. Okay. Now if I trigger this, now did you see I have created one function. Even in real time you can exactly implement similar kind. Same function also works. Understood? Yeah. But when we are writing up the function names, right? So we don't write a big decorator names and all. So for example, it's like a timing, timing calculation, timing it, right? So calculation the timings. So instead of this, say time it, for example, time it as a decorator. That's a known name actually. Yeah. But for you, you can use calculator execution time since you are learning it. Now I just trigger this, guys. Let's see, guys. Did you understood how it is working? See, 5, 2, and 3. Guys, did you understood how it is getting working? So that's where this is where the power of decorator. So write one function and do it for remaining everything. Understood? Sorry, when can we? Hmm. Oh, we didn't print it, huh? Time taken. 1 second. No, we were not we are not printing it, right? So for example, if you want to do it, you can say this, here, let's say if the functions are if the functions are result driven, if it is sending some data, for example, then say result, you can store it here itself, result equal to this, and you know say function name output, right? Let's say what's the function name here. Function name comes like this. You can capture like this. Function name and arguments also you can pass. Arguments also you can print, and arguments Arguments. What is arguments? It is a comma b, right? You can print the values. A and b. Got it? And result. Say result. Sounds good? Now, if we trigger this, let's try. Add. See, add is a function name. Arguments are 47 and 67, and result is this. Understood? In general, we don't print. But when you want to debug, then we will print. See, for debugging the functions, right? Let's say someone claiming that a decorator is not working, right? Then what you do, you can print all the lines, line by line. We wish to put. So why st is not working? Let me say print st something like this. Did you understood? So if someone complains, then in order to debug your code, right? We can use print statement. Majority of the cases. Yeah. And so in the real time, one decorator is very common because login decorator. For example, let's say a login decorator is one of the top decorator we use a lot. Why? Why it is important? See, for example, let's say some person he want to insert some data into the database, for example, through the application. And for inserting a function, we have written a function like this. For example, let's say save data, for example. The function name is save data, and whatever data it is fed by the front end, we are taking the data and dump it to the DB, for example, right? In that particular aspect, what really happens? Because without the person logging in, if the person if the person how we can know whether the person is logged in or not? Because see, when we are getting the data, the person will send you the user information. For example, even when it comes to authentication or every other information, right? As soon as the user logged in, and login function, what it does is it not login function. So when request comes to the API gateway would respond with the identity. So whether the person is, let's say you open google.com and you enter gmail.com, for example, it will ask for username and password. If you enter both, so if you hit submit, what will happen? The request will come to you are hitting your login API. Understood? And that login API, what it does is internally, it will make a call to the identity provider and see whether username and password both are correct. If it is correct, then it would return a token based. It is a JWT or anything else. Okay, so it will return the JWT token. And once the application is logged in, right? Then what really we do is, during the time, we will also construct a user information. So what is a user and what are the roles of it? For example, user might log into the particular application, but what kind of permission he has? Let's say using feature one. So feature one is, for example, we can say we can enable or disable, right? Let's say we can set true or false. So meaning based on that flag, we will decide, for example, let's say, think about this. So multiplication feature. For multiplication, let's say user can perform subtraction. And for multiplication, we were not allowed the user to, use that function, for example, let's say. So in general, what really happen is we will construct a user information, meaning in the request itself, we will get it. Because as soon as user logins, we will send the user information. Let's say something like this. Let's say username, for example, Kumar, and let's say login, or let's say, for example, username is Kumar, and Let's say add function. For add function, he has true, meaning he can access. Got it? Subtraction, he has access. These are rules. And multiplication, he don't have access. You got it? Now, I can show you because I will simulate here itself. Okay. Now there's a user information. Let's say user info. I'll simulate it. But in general, it is constructed in the application side. Okay. Yeah. Now if I go back here, now after this, I just added this. Okay. Now while calling this add function, see while making its API call actually. Okay. In general, along with request, this user information comes. So I'll pass this one more, but generally we don't pass the request itself containing information. Request dot get underscore JSON, right? We can grab this data. You got it? Something like that. We can grab the data. So now user information. So I'm passing here user information. Let's say user information, comma user information. Now did you understood? Now what I'll be doing is based on this, based on the user information flag. Let's say if it is add, right? So what I'll be doing? So here I will implement. I think I'll do one thing. Without this, let me have this for you. I think I'll keep like this. Have one more. Decorator with permissions. So here I'll make it clean for you so that you not get because this is first example that we were trying, right? So I don't want to make more complex. Guys, you're following, is it? You're not finding any difficulty in this, isn't it, guys? All right. Now now I'm passing here. See, for every function, what I'll do is here inside the main. This is a original function, right? In the original function, I implement try except else, try except exception handling. Okay, and here except permission error. For example, if person is having permission error, say user, right? Um, User does not have, right? Just like permission denied, for example, permission denied. Got it? Oh, sorry. No, no. Here, permission denied. We should raise the exception or not required. One second. Permission error. Accept permission error as error. Say error is error. Got it? So today also we'll have exam, guys, again. Okay. So similar thing we can implement. Now let me implement for add and for mul, because add and sub almost both are same because both are having the permissions. True, true, right? Yeah. Now let me implement it for this one. Except exception as error. Right? Except exception as error. Um, say print error is error. Make sense? Yeah. Not exception, right? Permission. permission error, and we have to handle both, right? Not only permission. So if it is permission error, we should say, yeah, I want to make some meaningful message, okay? Or yeah, both are currently does not make any sense, but I will put some meaning. Or say like permission error. If it is permission error, say user don't have a privileges. Permission error. User don't have. User don't have access to this feature. Makes sense, right? Yeah, I'll just copy this out here as well. All right. Now, so this time, we need to pass three X, Y, and user information, isn't it? Now, what I'll be doing, I'll be also passing because see the creator first, second, and third values user information, right? Say you, for example, right? And then here, uh, while calling function also, we should see we need to see wherever arguments, what are the arguments that we are passing, X, Y, and U, for example. You means what? Dictionary, right? Yeah. Strobe, comma, you means for user information. Yes. You can also type user, but since I'm using one word, one character, right? So X for storing X value, Y for storing Y value, U for storing user information, isn't it? But actually, logic is not yet implemented. See, I'm passing this, I'm passing this user information, but I'm not doing anything with it. Now what I'll do is user information. User information is dictionary, right? So what I will do before doing this, before doing anything else, here, if user is what? U is what? U is what? U is a dictionary, right? Yeah, correct. So what you can do is if user, what is the value? Because we will be passing U. But if you see user information is a dictionary. Let's say if user information of add, got it? If you go back here, if user information of add equal to true, then only it is okay. You got it? If it is this, then fine. If user information is false, for example, if it is not true, then what you should say? Else raise whatever it is. If it is not true, permission error, right? Makes sense, huh? Got it? Navin, did you understand? No, if user does not have permission to this feature, we are not doing anything. Simply saying that in a permission error, and we will return this message to the in the UI. We will send this message to the UI saying that, hey, this is error. Go and display this to the user. If you click on the sometimes, right, if you see, if you were when you're clicking, you are saying like you don't have insufficient permissions, or you don't have a, let's say, permission error. You are seeing such messages right in the UI, right? This is how we send it from the backend. Got it, huh? Yeah, let's try at least first function and see. I want to make it true and false. So currently it is true. Let me go and trigger this, right? So since it is having true, I could see that I got see after 5 seconds I got the results, right? Now what I'll, because now add is true, correct? Now let me make add to false. Now user don't have a permission. Okay. So when I go back here, see, we are passing 3, 45, 67 and user information. It goes 45, 67 and user information, right? Now user information of add. So I'm checking whether it is true or false. So currently what I'm setting, I set it to false. Since it's a false, if Since the condition failed, right? It comes else block and raise permission error. And permission error block, we already having one block for permission error, right? And here permission error say uh, so here permission error as error. User don't have permission to this feature, for example. Now if I go and trigger this, see, user don't have permission to this feature. How much time taken? Time taken to this is what? 0.002 seconds. Why? Because since user don't have permission, we didn't even executed the function. Guys, did you understood? So as soon as it see, as soon as it came, first is fine, second is fine. I started capturing the current time, right? But if you see, when we are making a function call here, when we are making a function call, it comes here, right? This is step 3, is it? When it comes to here, step 2, and this is step 3, right? Let's say here, say number 3, meaning step 3. When it comes here, immediately it found it is false, then quickly return back here. Quickly return back here. Did you observe that? And result is what? Result, I didn't send any results. So since there is no result, then you are seeing none as the if there is nothing, function is not returning anything, you can see none. Did you observe that? So here there's a function name, arguments are this, and the result is none. Why? Why result is none? Because the function is not triggered, not executed. So if it is good thing, good case, we are returning this none. If it is a bad case, for example, in this case, so since it is exited from here itself, right? If it is false, we are simply raising a permission error, and it came here, it executed this, but function is not returning anything. You got it? In this particular case, what will happen? Because if it is reaches this time, this line, then only it executes and say, hey, please hold for 5 seconds. You got it? Since it is exited from here itself. Now, did you understand why it is real quick instead of 5 seconds delay? Yeah, yeah. So even in the when it comes to permission side, even in the real time, we keep permissions like this for user. As soon as user logins, right? Whenever user logins, what we do is we will send this user we will send all the user related information to the UI by default. UI is always has this information. Hey, so this is the name, person name is this, and for example, let's say when Kumar logs in. So let's say when Kumar logs in, right? When Kumar logs in, person name is, for example, let's say K Makala, for example, and Kumar have only access to sub feature, so he can only do this. And let's say one more user, for example, Navin, right? So here Navin has everything, for example, so he can use any feature. He have access to everything. You got it? Yeah. So like this, like how we will define. So as soon as see again on what basis we can give the permissions. See, the permissions can be given from the UI because there is a form where you can see for every application, right? For every application, he can for example, let's say imagine add function is there, sub mul function is there. For 3 functions, what we do is we will assign some trainings to Naveen, for example. So once you finish the training, even when you are in office itself, right? You may be assigned to some trainings. Let's say environment safety and many other trainings, right? So when you complete on the screen, you will see like we have completed you successfully, correct? For example, so in that particular case, what really happens in the background, right? In the background, what we do is once you're done with it training, we will capture user information and update the information in the backend DB saying that this training is training completed. Meaning we will check mark the training. We will update a flag to true. And let's say if Mauli is not completed the training, and what we do is we will not set the flag in the, so by default it's a false. You understood? That person is not completed. And when user logs in from the backend, what we do is all the feature related things. Let's say Naveen has taken mul training, he has completed, so that flag is updated. So based on that DB entries, right, we will capture all the feature information, feature data, and we will construct in one we will construct everything in one dictionary, and we will pass it to the UI as soon as you as soon as the UI logs in. Even this information will be available only if the user is logged in. If user is not logged in, then you cannot do anything. Like you are the person, right? You are the person logs into your application, right? So based on that, even see when let's say if a person simulates, from the UI, right? From the UI, what he does, see sometimes this is the problem actually. If person since we are sending this information to UI, right? Even from UI also we can change the information, right? You know that, right? In the JavaScript, if you open, if you can you can make the, let's say UI itself, you can say this flag to true, for example. You can set it still. But what originally we do? So it when the data comes like this, we will check, for example, add function. So currently I'm just checking directly, right? Is I'm directly checking user information of add permission directly. Instead of this, what I'll do is I'll not if you are sending this information, for example, from the I am login function only returning this information, to the UI. But the problem is what? Though if you even you change this value in the JavaScript, for example, if you update the value and send it to you are making yourself to set it to true. So if you're writing like if you're writing logic like this, then still it works. For example, let's say uh, now this time he sets true, for example. Now this works seamlessly. After 5 seconds, he'll get the data because add function set to true, right? And if it is false, generally what we do is we will not check like this. We will not check like this. Instead, anyway, you are sending this user information, right? We will take it. Then we will make one DB query here. Make a SQL query. Make a SQL query to get the user access to this feature. For example, in SQL, how you write? Let's say, for example, let's say select. No, we don't write like this, but in Pythonic style, we will write using SQL Alchemy. Let's say user the flag is, for example, let's say is training. Select from table, for example, something like this, where username equal to some, let's say, Kumar Makala. So I might get some information about this. Like I'll show you like in a real time, but later. But we will make a query. We will get the data in the real time, so that even though he makes some changes, right? We will not even even if we change the user information from the front end, we don't even check this. Instead, we will check against to the DB. Naveen, did you understood? Huh? Because to that way we can avoid this kind of issues. This still works, but if user changes, then we were in trouble. Let's say if someone logs in before someone, let's say your credentials got exposed some XYZ site, and they're trying to access your application. But still, if even though if they make true or false from the UI, our application will not respond because we are based on the value we are like the value which we are incoming value, we will check against the database. Okay, so that what you though if you modified this user information, still be it would set as false. It would if it is true, if the person sets false also true also, we will check with the original DB value. We will make one more external query, and based on that we will make the calls. Sounds good. See, this is for false case. Add for user, right? So how come it added user information? Oh, okay. See, there is a problem now. Who can recognize this? Because I defined user information first, and I'm just focusing on this. But originally, I defined I redefined this user information where the which means that I'm overwriting this information with the new one. You got it? So meaning writing like this: a equal to 10 and a equal to 20. So if I print a, what value you are expecting 10, but originally 10 is already replaced with 20. You got it? So that's where it is working now. Makes sense? Makes sense? Yeah. Guys, login decorator we extensively use. So login decorator might be in different forms, right? The reason is very simple. So when it comes to login, so people when it comes to company, we need to implement this login functionality for different use cases. Let's say we might be using authentication and authorization, right? We can use auth. We can use when it comes to the company also, they might have their own plugins. For example, let's say at Apple we had this one. We had Apple Connect, and like this, there are a number of things. So there is a shield connect. So meaning the request should come from this, meaning some authentication should happen. So if the information is correct, then what there are a number of things. So this is a very basic, this is a very basic login decorator. But here we are not done any login here. You got it? So we were just simulated a so login function get information something like this. Okay. And when we are applying this, when we are applying this logic on the function, what basically we do is we will take the information, this information we got it from the request, and check the respective roles. If it is add, we will check add role. If it's sub, we will check sub role. For example, let's say here if user information of what is this sub this null, right? So it's a null double equal to true, then only you have to execute this logic, right? So if it is executing this, that's fine. Or I think this required does not require even else block, because see if it reaches if it is reaches properly this, then it returns it. Return this means what? It is coming out of the out of the function. Understood? If it is not done, you can write like directly like this also. Raise permission error directly without even else statement. So how it will work? Because this is a core thing. It should work like this. If the condition fail, it directly comes here, right? Now did you understood the scenario? Else is not even required in this particular case. Because since you are learning newly step by step, right? That's why I added else in the first block. In the second block, directly I just we can mention like this as well. So for example, let's say let me call addition first. Addition, if I trigger this, for addition the person have access. It is taking a 5 seconds delay, and we got the output. But when I tried doing same thing for multiplication, where I'll just set multiplication flag to false, right? Say multiplication 34 and let's say into 2 for example, and comma user information. All right, this time what will happen? Now if I comment this out and to go and trigger this, see multiplication is quickly 0. See, user don't have permission to this switcher. User don't have access to this switcher. Makes sense? How come? Because I'm just sending the user information multiplication, and it went here. See, the originally it went here, get into the decorator, get into wrapper, and then comes your mull, right? Mull, I didn't even put anything. Now, did you understood? So when you're working it, so since I already added no one numbering, right? 1, 2, 3. So similar way, you should write multiple functions and see how it is working. Guys, make sense? You had any doubt in this? Actually, we don't write like this. We do write like this, but we need to do a small tweaks in this application. Make sense? Let's do that. Okay. See, currently, we are sending some information. Let's say uh, X, Y. Let's say currently, imagine today you want to see you like application might get so when it comes to decorator, right? So it might get this is for so when it comes to decorator, so this can be used for multiple purposes, right? It might not get the information, like it might get the uh, values, or it might not get the values. So there is a concept which we have discussed in functions, right? Single star variable and double star variables, isn't it? You remember? So by using that, what we can do is, if some function can be tested, let's say now, if you use such functionalities, right? By using that information, let's say some functionalities you don't need. Let's say, for example, um add function. For add function, let's say adding data or something, so we don't care about whether user has permission or not. So there are certain things where we can ignore the permissions, for example. So for that particular scenarios, what we can do is we can implement a decorator such that it can accept, or it can accept the data, or if user is not passing, that's also fine. But we need to accommodate all the information. Okay. So let me take opportunity write one more decorator quickly, and I'll show you how it works. Example 01. So here in this decorator, for example, let's say time it decorator only, time it. Okay. So here function name, I'll just short fun. Fun means function name, or FUNC makes sense. Otherwise, you'll think about fun as it is Sunday. Just kidding. Fun, right? Yeah. DF wrapper, right? So we know that single star variable and double star variable, right? In the to make it more common, right? We used to say like star arguments, like normal arguments, star arguments, sorry, star arguments, single star arguments, and keyword based arguments, double star. Double star means keyword, right? It's a dictionary, isn't it? So we write KWOX. So let me show you how it works. How, let's say, print. I'll explain you in a very detailed note so that it would be very easiest for you. Understood? Now function name is, and arguments, say args, and keyword based arguments. KW args, keyword based. KW means keyword based arguments. That is like dictionary. You got it? KW args. Got it? Now I'm not doing anything. I'm not doing. See, I'm not doing anything with this. Simply say return wrapper. Right? Got it. So here, what did you see? I created a decorator, simple decorator, and here function name. Make sense? Now I'll show you with the very information, like I'll pass some information, see how it's working and all. Okay. So let me say addition information. Now imagine I want to pass, I need to addition every value which I'm passing. So I might pass, let's say, addition of here. I would say what I'll be doing is I'll be star, for example, let's say star A, for example. Now, what is star A means? So, meaning that would take a number of arguments, right? A number of normal arguments. Whatever value I'm passing, it will take and store them into the tuple, isn't it? Now, let's say print or not print. Actually, I'll just say return nothing. I'm not doing anything. Understood. Now, if you see time it decorator at the rate, how you can use decorator at the rate. Got it? Now, so now when I add this function, when I call this function 10, 20, 30, right? What it does actually originally, if you look at this, you are sending 10, 20, 30 and store them into a variable. So when it comes to star, how in what form the value will be stored? It will be stored in the form of tuple, correct? Got it. Now, if you look at this, what really happens when you call this add function, when you call add function and passing this passing this value, right? Generally, since it has a decorator in it, all right, I'm done. But originally, what will happen? This is a function call, function definition. The whole thing is decorator. Now I want to see what is the value, what is the function name. See here, when I call this function, it simply, since it is a decorator, it takes the function name and its arguments, pass it to the decorator. Function name becomes add, and argument and KW argument becomes, since only see these two are right. Currently, I passed arguments. So this become what? What are the argument I'm passing? It will pass out a tuple of values, isn't it? But what is the second one? Double star KWOX. So in this case, what will happen? It's a dictionary, right? But since there is nothing keyword based, I didn't pass anything, right? So what is the default value? Empty dictionary. Make sense? Now, if I go and trigger this, so again, make some numbering. So first is like number one for your understanding purpose. Okay. First it execute this, execute this, got it, and it also executes this. This is number three, and after this number four. Instead of say not number, okay, comes here. Or instead you can also make some more. You can also beautify this, saying that uh, time it. So it's a like time it here. First here again it's wrapper. I got it, and here inside the function, so that it will you will understand no properly. Got it. Now, if I execute this, it takes this, go here. First, it will select first line. I'm time it here. So it entered to time it block and went here. Second wrapper here. It went in here to wrapper. Now, so function name is, it execute the function name. Got it. So many whatever function name I'm passing, I'm printing that name. And arguments. Arguments, like whatever the argument we are passing, we are storing them into the star args. So by default, it stores the information 10, 20, 30, and KWOX. So KWOX, I'm not passing anything, so it become empty dictionary. Yes, makes sense. Huh? Is it more clear, or you are still confused? So that's why I given this example to make it more easy. How about Molly? Molly, you're fine with it? Because see, that's where if you understood the function concepts, you can understand easy this. Like these concepts are very easy. I don't need to repeat because I feel somewhere you are in lag. That's where I took extra effort and make you understand how it works. Otherwise, if you know this, how it works, star args, double star args, when it comes to functions, we already had like multiple sessions. Also, I mentioned you. one function with normal variable, star variable, double star variable, and explained about the sequence, like what is how when it comes to position, on which position you should keep the you know keep the variables. See, always it should followed by normal variable, single star, and multiple star, double star, right? So we need to understand that. Now, if I trigger this, did you see this? When I call this function, so it came to time it here, it enter here, enter to this block, right? To here, and oh, I didn't had three. Where is three here? Once again. No, we are not. Okay, got it. We are not. We are not calling that function, right? Because we didn't call anything. We just printed the decorator only. You got it? So originally, see, I forgot to call the function, but still fine. Why? Still it came and doing these things. Why? Because what is the reason? Because see, you are passing the function name, but you're not doing anything in this within this. You got it? We are just printing the function name. Yeah, makes sense. In order to go to line number three, so what you have to do, you have to call the function. Guys, you understood, huh? It's not about it's not mistake, right? We need to understand. It's not mistake, right? We need to understand store aux, comma, double star, kd blocks. Now makes sense, huh? Now if I go and trigger this, did you observe that? One came to time it, two wrapper, enter to three, add here. Once it is done, we are returning it, but we are not storing. No, we are not storing, right? So if you want to print it, let's say result equal to or equal to this, or say result equal to this, and say here function, and also say result. Make sense? Now if I exclude this time it will be more clear. It came to time it here, second here. We actually call the function. That's why it came here. Once it is done, it executes the next line, function name, and execute the last line. Guys, is it clear? You find more useful with this example, right? Uh, That's a best practice because uh, because this function can be used for multiple, right? See, currently this function required only addition function, for example. Let's say I'll be passing. See, if for example, now I want to take user information, for example. So this is optional. You can keep it. If you're not keeping it, that's fine. But how it required? For example, let's say in this particular case, this is not required. In this particular scenario, it is not required. But imagine there is a scenario where we will be using this time it function. But here, I'll be passing um, what we can say. So let's say get even numbers, for example, get even numbers. So what I'll be passing? I'll be passing, let's say, for example, even numbers. I'll be passing integer list in the form of I would say uh, dictionary. My dict equal to my dict equal to. I'll be passing key and value pair. So say so here values. So list of sorry dictionary of in the dictionary we had a key and value pair. For example, so here these are the values. So in these values you need to get the even numbers, for example. So now what did you observe? So this is a dictionary, is it? This is a dictionary, correct? So in this dictionary, now you can use the same function. You can use the same function. But if you don't have this, for example, you cannot use the time it. Let's say imagine for this particular function, for example, that's fine. And now what I'm doing is I'm writing I want to get the even numbers, but I want to use the same function. Time it is common. See, time it is what? It's a generic function which would be applied for everything else, right? So to accommodate that, what I'll be doing is, okay, here. Yeah. So now what I'll be doing, I'll write a even number. 1 second. Okay. So logic is what I'll do is it is expecting some dictionary. Let's say D, for example. Okay. Now dictionary means like dict or D, for example. Some name, some variable name. Now what I'll do, I'll use the time it, right? So time it. So time is decorator, right? Did you observe it? So time it. Now this is a dictionary, right? Now what I want to do, I want to get the even numbers. So my dictionary my data is like this. Now I want to get the dictionary. I want to get this information, right? So how can I do it? So I'll pass star dictionary or star variable. You can use a star dictionary. That's fine. This can be anything. It can be A, B, right? Since there is since I want to make sense, right? That's where I just named the dictionary. Okay. Now, so what is the logic to get it? What is the logic to get the even numbers? You already know. So there are a number of logics. You can use, lambda or whatever it is, filter. So in this case, filter only, no. So how you can do filter? So since we are sure that filter, right? Filter function required lambda, right? X colon x modulus 2 double equal to 0, comma. So you will be passing what you will be passing. You want to pass this dictionary, you need to pass this, list, right? So if it is a dictionary, since it's a dictionary, right? My dict of what? You need to pass this list only, right? So say, so what are the value you are using here? For example, let's say dictionary of what? Dictionary of what a key value, key name, values, right? Understood, right? So once you're done with this, so say result equal to this. Or see, you can print here. So you can print the result here, or you can return this data to the decorator, and that there you can print it out. You can do it either way. Understood. But the best practice is we don't print the values in the inside the decorator. We will print it here, and then we will pass it on. Got it? Yeah. We don't expose this data. We will expose. We will only see the decorator is only meant for what? Finding the execution time, right? I don't want to print whatever the data here inside it there. Yeah. For example, print result is say result. Guys, make sense? Now, if you observe this, so there is one function which I have written for is taking the single star variables. Understood? And one more for calculating what? Just once again. Oh, I had to take one exam actually at 8 mention, but that's okay. All right. So here, this is used for single star, and the other one for double star. So dictionary means what? Double star, right? So still there is a issue. I should keep 2 stars. You got it? Because we need to accommodate dictionary, right? Key value pair. So for key value pair, we should put double star only, right? Yeah. Got it? So now what I'll be doing? I'll be calling this, get even function. Okay. Get even function. Now I'll call this, no, well, I'll do one thing quickly. So I can keep this to down below and make it documented, right? And I'll for visually I'll make it in one place so that if there is any mistakes also we can quickly correct them up. All right. See one place. Oh, okay. All right. So one place what I have created decorator and I defined my dict. Got it. Now what I'll be doing? I'll be passing comma, right? So I'll be what I'll be passing? I'll be passing this value to hey, get me the even numbers from this dictionary of key value pair, for example, right? I pass it this get even. So what will happen? It should supposed to trigger this function, right? But what is the problem here? It has a dictionary, sorry, decorator. So it takes the function name and its arguments and pass on to function name to function FNC and arguments to its arguments. Make sense? Now, if you, I think before this, let's try to, we need to swap this too actually, so that you can clearly see what value it has. Oh, okay, I can do here only. The reason is very simple because I'm printing result in the same statement, right? Makes sense. Now here, if I trigger this, what will happen? Get even, go here, shares the function name and its parameters to function name to here and arguments to here. You got it? But here, normal argument becomes what? Empty tuple, is it? Perfect. So this become empty tuple, and now the dictionary has some information, dictionary. So we are passing this. And once I pass empty tuple, like, by default empty tuple, and um, KW args becomes dictionary, right? So I'm just printing, calling what I'll be calling here get even number. Function name is get even number, empty tuple, comma this, and it will come here. You got it? It comes here, and here what is the data? The data is what? Double star dictionary, right? So meaning when we are writing like this, it data comes directly into this, and we are passing the dictionary of values. Understood? See, when you're making call, when you do double star, it this whatever what like meaning KWS double equal to dictionary, not double equal to single equal to, meaning KW whatever the value we are passing, it would KWS double equal to dictionary. Like as mentioned, right? A equal to 10, A equal to B. Understood. Now, what are the value I'm passing here? It comes here, execute the logic, and printing out. So let me also put some two, and here time it here this wrapper function, and also say for your understanding purpose, guys. Guys, decorator is one of the toughest concept everybody else feels, but how easy it is? Is easy, right? Are you feeling comfortable? Even you know what? Any interview questions? Decorator is they must ask decorator. They must ask you decorator. Hey, can you write a decorator for login functionality? Can you write or they'll ask, hey, can you please explain decorator? You know, if you got to know, if you got a question right, you are fortunate because you can waste 15 minutes of time. You can just see he has 30 minutes. In 15 minutes, you'll provide all the things. Understood? That's where, as mentioned, right? So we should take more time from the interior. 30 minutes it was scheduled, and you will be explaining that, hey, decorator, decorator is a callable object. It takes a function as argument and returns a modified function. See, I'll tell you. A decorator, right? You can explain that by looking at it, right? A decorator is a callable function. It's a function, right? It's a callable function or object. It takes the function name as arguments, right? And function name as argument returns the modified function. Here we are doing it. We are adding some print statement, right? We are decorating this function with the log statements or print statement. Understood? But we are not modifying the original function. No, did you observe that, guys? We are not modifying it, but we are decorating here inside this is the place we are decorating with the login data. So because this function does not have this print statements, right? But I decorated with the print statements. Understood? With the time. Yeah, makes sense. Okay, no, here time it I mentioned, but I'm not capturing the start time and end time. That's okay. You can add the logic quickly if you want. You can quickly add it. That's fine. um Time it, right? So let's add quickly. That's fine. So say input time. So here, start time equal to time to time. Guys, now if you understood, you need to understand where to add that logic. That's it. You know the concept. You need to understand. Once I'm done with all the things here, end time, right? after this execution and all the things. In time is this. Got it? Even you can return you can print this statement. Maybe yeah, no problem. We can print it here directly. So function this is a function, these arguments, these are keyword arguments, right? And this is a result. Also, or you can say that's the data, function related information. Everything, one place makes your life tough actually to understand. Um, so function took seconds. In time minus start time seconds. In time minus start time. Make sense? Guys, got it, huh? So we had to add some data there. Let's trigger this, guys. Okay, so hey, takes zero positional argument, but one was given. Get even takes zero positional arguments, but one was given. So here it's not happy. Zero positional argument, but one was given. Oh, okay. I think I get it. What I'm supposed to be doing is when we are doing this, let me try this, quickly. When I say this, yeah. Got it. See, when you're passing it, right? See, currently it's a you know see I can you can do two ways. So one way is you can pass keyword arguments. Let's say key a equal to let's say for example whatever the value I want to pass, right? You can pass keyword based, right? If you want, you can refer to the keyword argument session in the functions, or you can directly put like this because this is a dictionary, right? When you put double star and the variable name, right? Meaning it will understand that hey, this is a function. Please consider this a function. Understood? So that's where now understood, huh? Like how it is being, how we have to set. Got it? Now, if you see my dict I passed. See, I have taken this dictionary value and passed here. Get even. If you look at here, it takes since the decorator. It takes the function name and its keyword based arguments, and it get in here. If you see the steps also in the output screen, right? It will be so clean. 2 3 result is because what we are doing, we are printing result, right? Result is here. Understood? And once it is done, guys, everything else explanation, everything else same thing only. You're adding some logic to it. That's it. Yeah, makes sense, or you're not fine? uh Clear, right? Yeah, makes sense. Okay, so this and guys, today we need to implement logic for doing, let's say, sometimes, right? Hey, can you write a decorator for joining up a string? Understood. So they'll be saying that, hey, can you write a decorator for joining up a string? You got it? Split a string. Understood, huh? So they'll ask questions like this. Now, did you understood how to do those kind of things for joining up a string, right? Sure. See, everything else is same. Whatever we are doing, right? Today, whatever we are doing, that's the same. But generally, what it could be, for example, let's say, let me take a join string, for example, decorator. Okay. So here, see, it is clear that how you understood how to join a string, right? It is clear. How you will be joining? Any idea on that? Dot join, right? So let me write a small decorator. Let's say join string, for example. My decorator name is join string. Understood. And here it's clear that any function, any decorator has function name as the argument. Got it? And df wrapper, it must have the wrapper. Inside wrapper only the function triggering will happen. Args aux, come on, kw aux. Okay, guys, you understood? I put these two, and now what I'll be doing is I'll be making a, for example, let's say I want to join one function is returning some list of strings. I want to join inside the decorator, for example. So how to write it? So df, let's say get get data, for example. So get data, one function is returning what? It is returning, let's say, uh, return list of strings. For example, let's say India, Bangalore, for example. So this is a function. Okay. Now decorate what this decorator should do. This should take the data and it should take the data, return the joining string. Understood? So what we will be doing, we need to apply this join string decorator, right? On this, isn't it? Got it? Now I'll be passing this function name. Understood? But this function does not require any arguments, right? So if required, not required, what we used to keep here, we used to keep star args or double star args. Understood? So meaning, see here also you can keep. If you keep not keeping, that's fine. Still be okay. You got it? Because I'm not. If you in this particular case, even if you don't keep this, should be fine. How come? Because the function does not require anything, right? This does not require anything. Even you can keep, if you want to keep, you can still keep. But we are not doing anything with these star args and double star args. But what is the primary thing that we are doing here? So, we are joining the string, right? So here I'll be calling the function. This is a function. Understood? So what this function will do? This function gets the information, right? Get the information of the list of, you know, list of strings, right? So here, say data equal to this. Now, once you have data, can't you join it? It's just that, right? Because if the decorator, let's even decorator can also return the data from here. Understood? Once you see your see from this from this function, you are giving this data here function. So the return data will be here. Now data becomes what? List of strings, right? And once you're done with your operation, you can also return the data from the decorator. Even they will in the interview also they'll ask a question. Hey, can we return data from a decorator? Of course, yes. If the function is returning, capture the data, take into some variable, and return it from here. Once you're done with it, let's say with this data, how to join a string? Who can tell me in the string operations? Right. Perfect. So my string equal to join double quotes. So if you want to join with space, put some space. Join. Understood. Data. Guys, make sense, huh? Did you understood now? Data equal to function. S equal to now I join the string. Once I'm done with it, return S. You got it? So where this return will go, wherever the function is being called, right? It will go there. I'll show you. Df sorry return wrapper. Okay. Now now see if I do this here here also you can print. No print. Now did you understood how we can write a decorator for anything? So there is a session on you guys because there is one thing I want to highlight. There you're missing. Okay, there you're logging. Not missing. Yeah, got it. So now if I go back here, if I call this function, get data. Understood? So what will happen? Now you are clear about numbering, right? Number one, number two, number two, number three happen. Number two, after number two, it will come to number three, meaning it simply returns this data. Now storing this information into the data and joined here, printed the join information, return this s. So when I say return s, right, this returns to the function call. Guys, understood? Return the data, return joins string to function call. Which happen at line 15. Guys, clear? Huh? For your comfortable, I make this statement as well. Now clear? If I trigger this, string object not callable. Get data. Where I'm making some mistake. One second. Oh, okay. Hey, get data is what? This is the get data, right? No, no. One second. Let's read the issues clear. Line number 15. Hey, when I trigger this, line number 15 module get data string object not callable. Okay. Get data is what? It's a function, right? It's a function. I call this function. Once I call this function, what happen? It has to go. It has to pass the function. Where? Line number? No, list only, no list of strings, right? I don't. No, no, no problem. No, no. One second. We are making a call. We're passing the function name here, and there is no arguments. No problem. And here, data equal to function. Oh, it is saying like function of call data. This I don't see any issue with this. Function name passed, nothing, no problem. And we are making a function call. The function call is what? Get function. It will come here. It come when we are making function call, originally it comes here, returns the data, and pass this information to data and colon dot join, right? Join. Um, hey, I think yeah, this makes sense. No, join dot data. Data means like a list of strings, right? And I don't see any issue at all in this. Efficiency, correct. And anyway, I'm not passing anything, right? Even if I pass this, for example. No, that's what. No, no. No, I'm type error, right? One second. No, no. Actually, see. Generally, this issue will happen. See, for example, this issue happen when no, I'll tell you. If the function, if the this is the function name, right? If I pass, let's say, if I this would happen in general. If I say something like this, equal to India is or some text, hello. This case, guys, did you understood? So this case, if I call this, if it is raising issue, see now also if I trigger this, did you see this? Type error. Now see, join string is India Bangalore. It worked this time. But originally did I mention somewhere else? No, right? See, if I close this, no, this should work actually. String object is not callable. Get data is not a string, buddy. Okay, so one second. Let me do one thing. No, 1 second. That's fine. No, if we redefine a function also as a string, then I had this issue. Okay, this is not an issue now. Where here? No, it wouldn't make any sense because it's a local, right? Local variable. Uh, hello. let, let me make hello. I'll take this. No, somewhere we did we define somewhere? No, no. It is really doing it actually. Did you observe it? It is really doing it. Line number 14. It is failing. But if you see join string also, I'm getting right. I'm seeing this information join string and written is. And if I print this, let's say if I print print hello, I should able to print the whatever decorator related thing actually. Hmm. This is something strange, very. Yes, I don't see any issue because decorator, the issue also not related. I think I can raise a bug on this. See, I didn't, I didn't even done anything. I didn't even called. No, I didn't even called the what? I didn't even call the function. Without calling function, it is working. This is really weird. It doesn't. It shouldn't work like this, guys. Huh? No, no. So in general, when we call this function, then only it has to pass it to the decorator, right? But I didn't done this. Hmm. Mm, really weird actually. So we never had this kind of issue. Hmm. Got it? This shouldn't work like this. In general, it is specific to the no, it shouldn't work like this. Or what I can do is I can join a string. No, no, it shouldn't be like that. One second, let me do one thing. So inside this, I will perform this logic here. Hello, and then all right, buddy. That's okay. So current. Hmm, no, here, no, here it is not. No, it's not required because we are directly returning the data, right? We are directly returning the data. See, it's simple that we are triggering this function call here. Store this information, right? It does not really matter because we are directly passing the list of strings, right? I think we can take help of. I think yeah, quickly let's try to understand whether it would help us. No, got it. See, the problem is what we had, right? So it is auto corrected. Line number 8, right? If you see line number 8, we should not call see the call happen. We are calling here. You got it? So line number 8, it's just a wrapper. We should not call it. So when I do this, actually, I supposed to write like this. Understood? The- I use tab generally. In general, I used to have a tab. You got it? For conclusion, for completion, auto completion. So that's fine. Yeah, now we are good. So now go back here. Follow, right? This does. Yeah, makes sense. So the issue is line number 8. It auto completed. So we shouldn't write like that. We never write a wrapper of open and close brackets. We don't write in any decorator. Yeah, makes sense. So similar kind we can implement this, guys. Understood? Huh? So getting, see, one thing is getting errors absolutely fine. We need to understand what's the issue. Understood. Once we understood, maybe see, uh, I can't even capture where it really, because I was I was focusing on the data. Hey, yeah, data is coming properly and it should perform, right? But I didn't realize that line number eight, I made it is issue with the auto completion. So yeah. Now if I don't call this, for example, nothing will happen. You got it? Yeah. Now this would get me this one. Even for get even number, like now did you understood? For anything, for any data that we were doing, now we can apply decorate. You can write a decorator for most likely I'll be sharing you the questions, questions for your assignment on all the decorators, because decorator is one of the very very finest and important topic, and this is a damn sure question on decorator. So if the decorator, don't tell them quickly, and you can also tell them, hey, let me explain with one decorator. For example, if I want to join a string, right, join a text, for example, or if you want to split the data and do some operations and get the things done, for example, right, tell them, explain them the definition. A decorator is a callable object. It takes a function as the argument and returns a modified function without touching the original function. Understood? So let me give an example. So let me start writing a decorator for joining a string, and you'll be start doing it. It takes almost also this also apart from this, right? You should also make exception handling and all other things. Try except logging, put everything. You understood? So which would it would consume more time. Hmm. It should be here, right? Because this is where the core logic is happening. Wherever core logic happening, that is a place. That's a catch. No, that's what, wherever core logic. The key is core logic part. In that core logic section, you have to implement it. Yeah. Any more questions on this? Or you're good? So if you're good, what we can do is I can share more examples today on the creators. So you should be ready with on the all the answers. I think I can also start taking mock-ups. Okay, mock interviews. See how you guys are performing. Okay, it's like individual mocks, which will literally help you to as the interview. All right. So want to stop it here, and so the next session will be conducted if you complete the degree test. So that's a condition. All right. Yeah. Because I don't want to rush into the session, because these are very very critical. And even when you join to an organization and project is from very scratch, if you are solid on the degree test, right? Instead of writing normal functions, you can implement decorators, which would solve many issues, many features. Understood? Now, if you understood in this particular use case, we for any application, login function, login decorators is very very crucial. Understood? If you had a sound experience on using login decorator or writing login decorator, which would adds good value in your company or team. You got it? So if you people never know how effectively they can use the concept of decorator for their daily need. But if you are in a position to write it, then you will many of the works will come to you directly. Yeah, sounds good. All right, so decorators are very very crucial. So work hard, guys. It's really important.